Hello, hello. Welcome to the news. This week we have news about add-ons, some sceneries, more traffic, and a very fancy airplane. Don't go anywhere. So I'm joined again by my fearless co-pilot, your man over there, who is still promoted to the live streaming GibboIreland. Gibbo, how are you?
Murph, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, it's Paddy's week this week, so happy Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. And, what are you doing on St. Patrick's Day, Gibbo?
I'm going to the parade, Murph. Oh, no.
I'm in the parade. I am the parade. But, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. And, there's nothing kind of very Irish coming out in terms of the news, but we had to get it in there for Paddy's Day. But we do have a lot of news this week. So, Gibbo, we're going to start off with, I think, a game changer, right? And we're going to let you go through the bits and bobs here. But from the developer Drozvecki Design, they have released an absolute masterpiece. What have they done?
Oh, Murph, this is Renton Municipal Airport, Kilo Romeo November Tango. I think it's been all over the news for the last couple of days, but let us tell you about this. Renton, well, it needs no introduction, really. It's a public use airport. It is used by GA aircraft, but of course is most known for being adjacent to the Boeing Renton factory and for being the maiden flight point of departure for many of the airplanes produced in that facility. At Renton, Boeing Company have, they've produced so many historic aircraft. Currently, it's the 737 series. It's the MAX 7, MAX 8, 9, and 10 models are being built there. But previous to that, it was, of course, the B-29, the C-97, the 707, the 727, and the 747 even had a number built there, and the 757, of course, as well. So what's cool about this is that Drozvecki have gone above and beyond here in creating not just the airport and its specific features that we normally talk about when we talk about scenery, but they have include a fully modeled Boeing Renton factory as well. So you can see the entire assembly line. It's incredible, and you're actually a part of it. Talk about immersive. It's fully immersive, where particularly in VR, it's incredible to see over your head the fuselage, being carried by the cranes into, the particular station, and then the wings being bolted on, or the engines, or the landing gear, or the chairs. The list goes on. It even goes into a paint facility. It's quite something. It really brings up the level, I think, that we've seen in scenery creation to a new standard. So it is truly, truly remarkable. This is available already, and it is available in all the usual spots, including Orbex and Sim Market, priced at €24.
Nice. And we will be taking a look at this in more detail during the stream. But I think, it's safe to say, like, when it comes to scenery design, this is beyond an airport. And, like, even, this airport was used by Microsoft themselves. They selected a number of content creators. They flew them out to Renton to actually show them the sim. And they got to get their hands on it and play with it and do everything else. So it's definitely an interesting place to go flying. So I'm looking forward to how you make your, I suppose, review or thoughts at least of what it's going to be like, because it's a masterpiece, that one. So moving on, Gibbo, this thing, the Concord. It's like it's the sort of thing, no matter how many times you look at it, it's just nice. You know what I mean? It's like fine art. Or casual, but like as you're looking at it, it's fantastic. And yet again, DC Designs, well, he's given us another update. So what's the story here?
That's true, Murph. We did cover this just last week, and we mentioned that March was the release month. That's all we knew this time last week. Now we have a confirmed date, which is March 30th. It's truly around the corner where we'll be able to get our hands finally on the Concord. The latest update from DC Designs told us that Concord is now finally fully functional, with testing and documentation work planned for this week. It's worth repeating, of course, that Concord is DC Designs' most complex aircraft to date. For those perhaps thinking it might follow along what they've previously produced. They do promise a higher than usual level of simulation of the various systems and features of the airplane. So it's unclear at this point in time whether or not Concord will be out for the PC and Xbox at the same time. That seems to be unlikely, in my opinion, even though the Xbox version has indeed been confirmed. And again, we do know the price. The price is £28, $40, or €35, with a slight discount available for existing owners of the P3D version. So, look, get your wallet ready, folks. Can't wait.
It is, and it's looking better and better with each of these previews. So we're so close to this thing. So I can't wait. Gibbo, I'm going to race you. I'll start in Dublin, you start in New York, and yeah, you have to fly to Dublin the other way. I'll go to New York that way. But yeah, no, I can't wait. So moving on, this thing, we saw a bit of a preview of this during the week over on the Flying Fabio's channel, and it is that of the Boeing 247 from Wing 42. This thing I'm really excited for, and all going well, we'll get to show it off in a week or two. But Gibbo, this is just like study level sim, and there's such a story behind this. We might even discuss it later on. But what's going on here?
Yes, Wing 42 have revealed two big pieces of info on the Boeing 247D from Microsoft Flight Sim: the pricing and the release date. You might have seen it in the first screenshot there. The release date is April 2nd, and the price, well, here's the news. It'll come in at a surprisingly low price for such a high detailed aircraft of just $20. So nice. At $20, and knowing how deep and nearly obsessively realistic this simulation is claimed to be from Wing 42, it's a very welcome and interesting strategy, I think, that they're doing here. Otmar spoke from Wing 42 about why, and the reason is he feels as though there's a large user base in Microsoft Flight Simulator and is keen to bring the 247D to the largest number of people possible. So he feels as though putting at that price point will mean that they'll have a bigger addressable market in terms of audience size. So yes, let's talk about the 247D for a moment then itself as well. It does have innovative features such as radio range navigation. It has state saving. It has some maintenance requirements. So we are in for a pretty immersive simulation. And yeah, honestly, for me, this perhaps might have been one I might have skipped, in favor of, there being some outlays on other releases over the coming weeks. But at this price, I think his strategy is paying off for me in getting me on board and maybe going ahead and purchasing this. So yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and again, like the Boeing 247, it's just it's another iconic aircraft. One of the first airliners. It was used a lot for hauling mail and stuff. A lot of the earlier contracts were that for US mail. But he's gone to kind of extremes with this. There's we see in one of the pictures there, you can set the engine on fire. That'll be me. But $20 for a very high fidelity aircraft with so much history. And let us not forget the Blériot, which came out from Wing 42. And as weird and wonderful that plane is, like, it's not going to be, hey, guess what I'm doing today? I can't wait. I'm going to fly the Blériot, because it's too slow. Do you know what I mean? But in saying that, it's still a remarkable aircraft. And I learned so much from all the stuff that Otmar put together. Do you know, all the history, all the different flights, even the flight plans. It was truly a fantastic product. And I'm really looking forward to this. And so I think it's going to be awesome. So, yes, definitely one to keep an eye on. So moving on, GSX, or the ground services. I'm familiar with this program back in the world of FSX and a little bit in P3D. Essentially what it is, it creates the people, marshallers, traffic controllers, even people moving around the airport, anywhere from, the tug drivers to marshallers with the cones, the whole shebang, vehicles, even the service vehicles. You can change the livery on P3D if you're going to a certain stand. You can put in Service Air or, Gate Gourmet, whatever it's going to be. But here they are now talking about Microsoft Flight Sim's integration, if you like, of GSX. What do we know about this project, Gibbo?
Yeah, Murph, that's pretty much it. This comes from FS Dream Team, who we may know from such great sceneries as Vancouver, Zurich, and O'Hare. Are bringing us this GSX ground service which simulates all the ground operations that support the world of aviation. As you say, that includes marshalling, catering services, pushback, refueling, passenger boarding, and much more. Now, we of course have a very good pushback tool already in Microsoft Flight Sim. That's the toolbar pushback tool, but GSX here aims to do that and much more. Now, this particular teaser video, I think, only actually shows the pushback functionality with accompanying sounds. And there is a UI that looks a little rough around the edges at the moment. But you can see, nevertheless, some cool animations. You might notice, for example, the bypass pin, and the marshal holding that to the pilot as well. So, this will be an interesting one. So, more to come.
Yeah, and like GSX, like it is a payware product, but it like in terms of immersion and what it can and what it can't do, the options or the menus, they do look a little bit clunky. I know I watched another video, I think it was Overkill, he was talking about it, and he was saying that, I hope we'd like to see maybe voice activation, that kind of thing could be cool. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This should be pretty much awesome to get. And again, it changes so much of like the default ground traffic that you get in the sim, so really looking forward to it. So next up we have one of your favourite players of one of your favourite teams, because you don't like Liverpool at all, Cristiano Ronaldo, your man who, what does he say, what's his tagline? Wazza or something, or Zoo, I don't know what he says, but he does or something. But anyway, well, they only named an airport after him. Was it after him, in fact, or was it someone else?
No, him, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, he plays for some team in Manchester. I don't really know them.
No,
it should have been called...
No. There was like a famous explorer called, hang on, Cristiano Ronaldo. He wasn't a footballer at football. What are you talking about? Why are they naming airports after footballers? You have to be a singer or an explorer to, but no, it is. And, well, he's Gibbo's favourite player. Posters in his room of this very player. But, I have to say, right, anything with Portugal when it comes to Portuguese airports, especially now that we're so close to the Iberian update for the sim, well, this is going to be very welcome indeed. So, what's the story here, Gibbo?
Yeah, Murph, this is Madeira Airport, which is Lima Papa Mike Alpha, and yes, it's now officially known as the Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport. It should be called Mo Salah running down the wing, but anyway, we'll move on. So, look, what we know about this, it is a challenging airport due to its perilous and defiant location by the sea, defiant location by the sea, and it's now getting an improved recreation of Microsoft Flight Simulator, courtesy of AMSim. So Madeira has already been custom built by Asobo in the simulator, but of course this brings it up yet to another level. We can definitely see improvements here to make it even more realistic, and that's what AMSim are looking to bring to the table. So Madeira's airport, as I say, is infamous for its what it had was a very short runway, which together with the requirement for a 150-degree right turn and short final made it, well, quite nerve-wracking for landings. The runway has since been extended now partially over the sea, which makes it look very cool and safer, of course. And despite the strong winds, it still is an exciting landing to come in for keen simmers. So in this rendition of Lima Papa Mike Alpha, AMSim have added high resolution ground textures and markings, as well as detailed terminal buildings with all its surrounding structures fully modeled. This is available right now through Orbex Direct, and it's priced at €10.
Nice. There's a fantastic video on YouTube of there's one video of an airliner landing here and one taking off. It's actually a very, very challenging airport, and it shares the characteristics of like a carrier. Like, I mean, it's pure runway. There is no turnaround until you get past a section and then turn it around. So like, could you imagine me on my first day and that was my first job? Do you know what I mean? I'm awful sorry about that. But I have to say, from the pictures, they're not a developer I'm too aware of. It looks amazing. It really, really does. So again, if you guys would like to see more of a look at this airport, let us know in the comment section below and we'll check it out for you. So moving on, Gibbo, more scenery. But this is famous, man. This is like, everyone knows this place because it just looks very, very fancy indeed. And it is that of Dubai. What's the story here?
Field Air are behind this, and we know them from Las Vegas and Los Angeles airports. They have now turned their attention to Dubai International Airport, which is Oscar Mike Delta Bravo. look, Dubai, what can we say? It's a crucial hub connecting the Western world to Asia, and is the world's busiest airport if you measure it by the highest average number of passengers per flight. So Dubai is popular already among jetliner simmers, and Field Air, I guess, saw that as an opportunity to create a more realistic virtual version of this huge airport. It really is massive, with custom animated jetways, realistic handmade buildings with PBR textures, accurate slope terrain, enhanced night lighting, and custom taxiway signage. So, yeah, this is a fairly detailed airport. It's got to say, it's definitely one that would be worth a go at a live stream, Murph, if you can fit it in. What was interesting actually was originally Field Air decided to brand their name all over all the jetways at Dubai. So I'm not sure what kind of led them to believe that that was a great idea, but they have since changed their minds and issued an update to remove those unrealistic logos from the scenery. Nevertheless, it's available right now. It's available via aerosoft.com and is available at $25.
Yeah, so like with Field Air, you know, I'm a huge fan of Flight Tampa, and Flight Tampa did a fantastic job at McCarran and also Las Vegas. And then Field Air, you know, they were kind of second to the table, but it was pretty decent what they managed to do as well. So, you know, the scenery looks nice. There's nothing from what I can see that's a game changer. And even with the images we can see, it says Field Air all over the shop. That's just like, what are you doing, lads? Keep it subtle, keep it quiet. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would the developer go to this to say, you know, let's put our name all over the thing? It's just like, no, sit down, go back to bed. But listen, who's to say? It is a very, very important hub, probably very popular now with some of the airliner pilots. So we'll check it out. You know, McCarran in Las Vegas, that's what Flight Tampa did. But anyway, moving on. I'm not supposed to be reading the chat. This is recorded live, Gibbo. Anyway, we're not cutting. Right, now, let me see. Stuff. Right, yes, back in me train of thought. Gibbo, there's another traffic add-on in the works, and, well, it's getting very, very close to release. So, well, what's happening here?
Yes, we briefly spoke about this in a previous news video. Look, this is from Just Flight and its FS Traffic. This was first announced back in December, and it is another AI traffic solution similar to Aerosoft Simple Traffic, the AIG AI Manager, and the other one that we covered as well, which is called FSLTL. We have some new details actually about the whole package and what's being included. So for starters, there's now a full list of all aircraft models that Just Flight plan to include with FS Traffic. You might have seen that on the first screenshot. I did take the time to put that out there so you could see. Very good. Essentially, all the latest models are covered, including the Airbus A220. And Just Flight shared a couple of new images that we're showing as well of these models, which do seem to be a huge step up in quality when compared to what's currently available in the sim. They will also feature high definition liveries, night lighting textures, animations, effects, realistic sounds, and compatibility with jetways and ground units. Now, Just Flight also say that FS Traffic not only will be a powerful tool, but it'll be customizable by the user as well, meaning they'll be able to add their own liveries and even add third-party aircraft models as AI. For the included flight plans, that'll of course represent real-world commercial traffic from different time periods. And there's no estimated release date for FS Traffic at the moment. It does appear that there's lots of work still left to do, but Just Flight did say that this is a project for 2022, so expect further news down the line.
Nice. So like Just Flight had this over on X-Plane, and it was a game changer because they kind of took the pain out of installing it. I mean, click a couple of buttons, boom, you're in. That's it. It works. I'm unsure how this will integrate with some of the online flying, you know. We're getting closer though, because some of the issues that we have at the moment, there is the lack of a centralized folder, if you like, when it comes to custom models. And that's a huge gripe with us flight simmers. If you're flying online, be it multiplayer or whatever, and you know, if you don't own the same aircraft as the person flying beside you, they appear as some sort of a weird and wonderful thing, but it's not what it should be. This kind of edges us a little bit closer, I think, to having more acceptable models. In particular, like, I mean, if you're flying, okay, these are airliners, but in time, the GA stuff, you know what I mean? If you're flying in someone has a different livery, and like currently the sim is going to load in, well, it's a single engine propeller, okay, it's going to be a Bonanza. It's not. It's a Cessna, you dope. But do you know what I mean? So this is going to help that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I mean, look, I'm using AIG myself. I'm happy enough with it. It's a little bit meticulous to get it up and running. Just Flight, they've, you know what I mean? They click of a button, done. Finished, that's it, it works. Everything's grand in the house. So yeah, we're going to be checking this one out for sure.
It's fun to do some plane spotting as well, though, isn't it, Murph?
It actually is. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, hang on now, I'll get up early in the morning. What are you doing? I'm going plane spotting. Oh yeah, where are you doing it? In me front room. You know, but you can. You actually can. You'll be sitting there and you might have ATC on and you're watching the planes coming. He greased that one. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, it is a lot of fun. It is. I do it. I do it. Anyway, moving on. This machine here. Now, this is not the first time we've seen the Edgeley Optica. In fact, we have seen a release already from Orbex, and it was the first aircraft to come out in Microsoft Flight Sim. But it's after coming along now to a group of developers who are kicking more amounts of ass when it comes to high fidelity add-ons within the sim. It is the collection of dudes who make up Got Friends. And this is their rendition of the Optica, which is a kind of a weird and wonderful aircraft. And we're going to be taking a look at this during the stream as well. But this thing, to have another exact aircraft that's already released in the sim, you got to be asking the question, what's the deal? Is this better? Does it have more features? You know, is it cheaper? What's the deal here? So what can you tell us about it, Gibbo?
Yeah, Murph, well, first of all, the Optica kind of follows a remastering path that we've seen of late with the Discus glider at the end of 2021, where the freeware Discus 2B paved the way for the remastered Discus 2C. We might be seeing it with the RV14 and you know, in the future, and here we're seeing it with the Optica as well. So yes, as you say, the talented folks at Got Friends remastered this freeware model from John's that is being released, and Jonks is I think on the stream and is one of 4 members of the team, along with Got Gravel, 270 Inc. and Microd, and as you said, there's a separate payware product from Orbix. They decided to come together and overhaul the Edgeley Optica, replacing the existing freeware model with this much improved payware model, which is available at the moment through flightsim.to. I'll talk more about that in a moment. In terms of features, the new Optica has been totally redesigned, matching the aircraft's original selling points, but also adding some modern niceties that'll make the whole experience just a lot more practical and fun. In the panoramic cockpit, you'll find improved instrumentation, including the Garmin 430 and 330 GPS navigation systems, autopilot, and even support for the PMS 50 GTN 750 avionics mod. Got Friends have promised a fine-tuned flight model from Got Gravel here, along with a very detailed 3D model and textures for some fun. And you can even fly with man's best friend as company, as you might have seen in the screenshots there too. This truly is perfect for VR, as the Optica is a low and slow flying machine that really just provides great visibility all around. Now, as for the price, so as I said, it was available currently at flightsim.to, and there's 50% off from the original price of €23. So it's available right now, priced at €11.
Nice. I'm going to be checking this out in the stream later on, and I can 100% assure you, and you'll see it clearly, the differences between this and what's already been released in the sim already from Orbex. And it's not a case that you can say, well, one is completely different than the other. You know, the Orbex one, I think, got an update the other day. It's up to 1.2. This is just different. It's very, very different. And I think the guys have nailed it, because the Optica is somewhere between, I don't know, a moped and a kite in terms of handling. This is very good. This is very responsive. It's, you know what I mean? You can actually fly the thing. And it has man's best friend, but it's also a cat, Gibbo. And
there is?
Yeah, they do things. But they don't talk to you. They're great listeners, though, just as they are in real life. It's a full simulation. But no, I'll show you later on how it all works. But it's a top-class product. It really is. And it comes with different liveries and the whole shebang. And I just love the way it can integrate with that GTN 750. It's genius. Absolutely genius. So I can't wait for that one. So let me see. Moving on, Gibbo, moving on.
We've loads of news this week, huh?
This is like, do you know what I mean? I had to, when I saw this, I was like, yes, things are happening. We're going to Australia and we're going to talk to the lads and say, hey, give us a look at one of these. This is, of course, the DC3/C47. Douglas, this thing, like, come on. Do you know what I mean? I have a picture of it back here on the shelf of many things. Well, it's just, that'll do, brother. It's absolutely fantastic. And we have words from Airplane Heaven. What's the announcement, Gibbo?
Yes, lots to share here about the DC3 and the C47. So Airplane Heaven have confirmed that they are very close to release for Microsoft Flight Simulator here of the DC3 finally. And we've got, yes, lots of preview images and confirmation that the C47 will be included in the package. To talk about that for a moment, so the C47, which is also known as the Dakota for the RAF, is arguably one of the most famous military transport airplanes ever made. It saw widespread use by the Allies during World War II, dropping thousands of paratroopers across a large number of battlegrounds, crucially during the invasion of Normandy following D-Day. So yes, with the C-47, as you can probably tell from some of these images, there's droppable paratroopers. And it comes with two versions, Murph. There's the short and long Hedgehog exhausts. The first one is the rendition of That's All, Brother, which is the C-47 that led the huge formation of more than 800 C-47s that dropped around 13,000 US paratroopers during D-Day. And the second one is the L4, which is the aircraft that Lieutenant Winters and the first sticks of the 101st Airborne Easy Company on the eve of the invasion, which is now famously known as the Band of Brothers. So besides the C-47, Airplane Heaven will be offering a wide range of liveries for the DC3, 17 in total. Murphy will be happy that it will include Buffalo Airways.
All right.
And they'll actually make the DC3 available with a few variations, with the left or right passenger doors, a mixed cargo and passenger variant, or just cargo. And yes, judging by these images, it's beautiful really from every angle. You can see a detailed 3D model. There's great use of PPR textures, beautiful cabin, lot more. So it really does look the part. I cannot wait to take the sky with this one.
Usually Airplane Heaven, like, they're not ones to say, hey, we're doing a thing and release it the next day. You know, we've known about this project for quite a while now. However, the fact that we're getting kind of fairly quick updates now and so many previews, this thing is pretty much ready to go. So I can't wait for it. And like, you know, the application of flying this airplane, be it in a civil or military variant, if it's going to be the military variant, I mean, come on, you're going to be sitting there, the main theme song of Band of Brothers, giving it socks and Cora hey as you're doing your thing. And then, you know, when you go to the civil side of things, the civilian side of things, you'll have anything from Buffalo Airways. And I can't wait to see what people start making when it comes to liveries, right? I mean, Aer Lingus flew these. Do you know what I mean? Smart flew Aer Lingus back then. But yeah, look, I mean, there's so much going on with this airplane. It's not just, yeah, here's your plane and away you go with it. I mean, if you compare the closest project so far in Microsoft Flight Sim that Airplane Heaven would have worked on this, namely a twin engine relic, of course, was the Electra, which was a little bit on the, it looks beautiful, but yeah, it's a little bit hollow, right? This has all the bells and whistles. So I'm hoping there's not too many bells and not enough whistles, if you know what I mean, because paratroopers, yeah, jump out there, lads, green light, go. And then you've cargo as well. So look, I think it's because it's such an iconic aircraft, unless this thing is absolute rubbish, which it won't be, I think the entry-level enthusiasts are going to find it fantastic and just cool to be flying it. And then I think the more experienced, you know, high-fidelity loving simmers are going to enjoy it as well, because some of the notes I was reading from Airplane Heaven on Facebook, you know, it's not a direct replica of the aircraft. They've brought it as close as they can, right? Which is honesty, right? They've brought it as close as they can. So they're saying what it is what it is. It itself becomes its own thing. But when it comes to like cowl flaps, engine startup procedure, all that kind of stuff, it's all there. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. I mean, this is Christmas Eve. You know what I mean? When this thing drops, it'll be like, that's it! Alert the media and we're going to do our thing. I cannot wait for that. It's an instant buy for me, 100%. So moving on, other news, Gibbo. This is coming in from Milviz, for which we are a fan. And this is showing an update, if you like, on their Cessna 310. Or, I blame Gibbo, right? He put me onto this, Rescue Relic?
Rebuild Rescue.
And he has a Cessna 401. And ever since then, I'm looking at like old airplanes thinking, yes, I'm going to clean the engines and take out all the bird mess and see can we fire that engine up. So whenever I see like old Cessnas, I'm like, yes. Now this one isn't terribly old, but it's still an iconic aircraft. So Milviz, what's the update on this one, Gibbo?
Yeah, well, they showed this off in an hour-long video, Murph, in really, really great detail. So I watched it thoroughly for you all. You'll be glad to know, and I'll summarize it in just 1 minute. This has been promised as a high-quality aircraft, of course, that'll really try to, I think, set a couple new bars in the category. This, of course, is a twin-engined 310, or let me tell you a couple of the interesting parts. So the first is starting with the tablet. It'll allow the usual activations of doors and the external elements that we'd be familiar with, but it has a host of additional options, such as choices of avionics suites. It will include the GTN 750 from both PMS 50 and TDS. But the most exciting, I think, thing that it has here is its focus on realism and, being an accurate simulation of all its systems. So the level of realism itself will be customizable, so you can tailor the experience to your preference. So, for example, if you like a simplified approach, just want to jump in and go, not much to operate or to worry about, you can do that, and you can figure the options to do so. Or, here's where the highlight is, you can really make it individual to you, where each system is affected by the usual day-to-day operations. So what that will mean is simmers will be responsible for keeping the aircraft flying safely, inspecting the components, doing all the necessary maintenance to have the plane fly with no issues. And failing to do that will actually come with some, serious consequences. So this need, coupled with the ability to have the aircraft save its state across sessions, will really help ensure that the aircraft becomes your aircraft, which is kind of interesting. In addition to that, just 2 other quick things is that it will come with a passenger satisfaction meter that measures the real-time happiness of your passengers. So yeah, that'll be fun. And they will be introducing the new propeller system that was introduced with Sim Update 8. So really, the 310R will be as state-of-the-art as you can get from a development perspective. We are expecting a release here in the coming weeks. The last we heard was that they were pointing to a release by the end of March. It's probably now going to be more likely the April timeframe, but nevertheless, stay tuned for further details.
It looks fantastic, and like it's a bit of a departure from Milviz, whereby they're now working on a very high-end simulation of an aircraft, and like this thing's been like they spoke about this prior to the PC6 and even the Corsair. Like they've spoken about the 310 from pretty much day one. I'm intrigued about the passenger satisfaction thing. You know what I mean? Are you all right there, Julia? Lower. Are you all right there, Julia? Do you know, like, what are they going to do with that? Will it be a case of PAC-X kind of integration, which we will be checking out later on? Or is it going to be, you absolutely grease it or you burst it against the runway, or, the forces, if you like, from speeding up and braking? It was a little bit kind of strange. But it's kind of cool to see this level of ingenuity, I suppose, when it comes to creating more add-ons for aircraft. It's very much A2A-esque in terms of adding feeling and adding, life, if you like, breathing into the airplane itself, and also giving you the option to have it on or off. That's critical here, because not everyone wants that. They just want to hop in, go for a flight, and not worry about the spark plugs are fouled, or, Tina sitting beside Julia isn't as happy as she should be, and all of this sort of stuff. So I like that they're giving us choice, and choice is what it's all about. Cats and dogs. But yeah, so really looking forward to that in Gibbo. So that is it, Gibbo. We did it again in one take. I don't know.
Just about.
So that's it for this week. Do be sure to catch us out in our live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2000 Zulu time, right here on Twitch.tv/2tone Murphy. So until then, look after yourselves. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.